Hi everyone. I'm Nicky Christmas, founder of Practically Perfect PA and the EA Campus. Thank you for joining me today for this presentation on the art of building confidence for practical solutions in the workplace. It's a bit of a mouthful, but we will get into the details now. In today's dynamic work environment, the role of assistants has evolved far beyond traditional administrative tasks. We are no longer the gatekeepers or the organisers. We are problem solvers and solution seekers. This is where we truly add value to our organisations. So what are we going to cover in today's session? The need for problem solving. We'll start by discussing why assistants must be adept at identifying issues and crafting practical solutions. We'll delve into the essential skills you need to be an effective problem solver, from analytical thinking to effective communication. It's not enough to come up with a solution. You also need to know how to implement it successfully, and we'll cover strategies for making your solutions a reality. And then lastly, we'll tackle the often overlooked aspect of problem solving. Having the confidence to initiate conversations that drive change. Before we get into all of that, I want to take a minute to talk about why assistants need to be the go-to person for getting things done in your organisations. Let's take a second to dive in to one of the most critical aspects of our role as assistants, the ability to get things done. This is not just a skill. In my opinion, it's a necessity. In a world where projects often fail, deadlines are missed, productivity lags, being the person who can reliably execute tasks is a game changer. So why is this so important? The answer is really simple. It's a quality often missing in the workplace. While many people are great at coming up with ideas or strategizing, the execution phase is where things often fall apart. This gap is precisely where we as assistants add immense value. We are the linchpins that hold projects together, ensuring that ideas move from the drawing board to reality. When we excel at getting things done, it boosts our value and it sets a standard for the entire office. It creates a ripple effect of productivity and accountability, which can be the difference between a project's success and its failure. So by being a reliable force that drives tasks to completion, you will not only elevate your professional stature, but also enhance the overall operational fluidity of your organisation. Your proactive approach fills gaps, prevents bottlenecks, and ensures that projects progress seamlessly. In essence, by embodying this doer persona, you'll solidify your place as the backbone of your organisation, fostering trust and reliance from both your executive and your colleagues. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at how you identify problems in an organisation that specifically assistants can solve. Problem solving for assistants can range from the straightforward issues everyone should address, like cleaning out the fridge at the end of the week or replacing the toner in the printer, to incredibly complicated problems such as the assistant team in the business isn't working effectively. We need to replace the IT supplier or move office. Fixing problems at this level is hard, but something assistants must take on if we want to be seen as a business asset and not just an administrative function. So how do we go about identifying and fixing problems at work? Here are the 7 steps you need to take when solving problems. or seeking solutions. Step number 1, find the right problems to solve. You might see lots of problems within your organisation to solve, but you might not necessarily have the authority to address them or the skill set. So you have to find the areas where you can really make a difference. As assistants, we come into contact with so many different parts of the organisation that we can see when processes and procedures aren't quite working. Still, we might not be able to solve those issues as we can others. So finding the right problems that you can get stuck into and solve makes a difference. Identify and define the problem is step number 2. It can feel like we are continually putting out fires and reacting quickly to get those issues resolved. If you can relate, I would suggest that you have quite a few problems that can be rapidly solved. It's just finding the space in your day to figure out how to quickly fix those quick win issues. This is down to you being proactive rather than reactive. So take an afternoon, ideally when your executive is in a long meeting or out of the office, book yourself a meeting room, or if you're working from home, find some quiet space, grab a notebook. Write down all of the issues that your executive, your team, your department come to you with regularly. These are your quick win problems that you can solve using your skill set. If people are coming to you with these problems, you also have the authority to fix them. Once you have your list, then you can start to define the problem. Ask yourself these questions. Why is the issue occurring? How do you know it's a problem? Step 3, understand who is affected by the problem. Along with the questions that I just mentioned, you should also determine who the problem is affecting and the knock-on effect. Take, for example, a common problem that assistants face. Your executive doesn't take the right papers to their meetings. This affects your executive and everyone who attends the meeting because your executive is not prepared. They often drive that meeting forward. So if you think about it, workplace problems often affect more people than you might realise. So try to get a sense of how big the issue is and how many people it affects. Brainstorm possible solutions is our next step. You don't need to work on your own when trying to solve workplace issues. Let your executive know that you have identified a problem and you're trying to resolve it. Brainstorm with your executive if they have the time or the inclination, your team, maybe other assistants in the business, and of course there is always another angle to use for possible solutions. Google is the first port of call for any issues I face. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If someone else has come up with a good solution, copy it. I also have to mention ChatGPT and other available AI that can help with brainstorming and coming up with solutions. You're not cheating using this technology. It's a resource that's available and will help you significantly with any problems you have. So use AI as a first go-to and refine from there. The next step is select the best course of action. So this is the best bit, fixing the problem. Once you have brainstormed your ideas, you've checked ChatGPT, you've run it through Google, you've asked some people. The answer actually can be quite straightforward. Select what you think is the best course of action. Make sure you document how you've come to that conclusion and the process that will fix the problem. Step number 6 is implementing the solution. So implementing the solution is often the hardest part of fixing a problem or issue at work because it means often changing someone's behaviour. We have a whole nother session on that. Workplace problems are often solved by sticking to a process that makes sense and making sure that everyone does their bit within that process consistently. This means that you have to champion the process and work with key stakeholders to ensure that everyone is on board and knows what they have to do. So that involves communicating regularly and ensuring everyone understands the process and their part in it. The next step is monitoring the issue and making sure that it continues to be resolved. So this is the last step in the 7-step process. It's making sure that that problem stays resolved. Again, this is tricky because we are all creatures of habit and it can be easy to slide back into the old ways of working. So it's your job to monitor the issue and ensures that there is no backsliding into old habits and that you react to any future problems that come up. You can share the learning with others as well, of course, other departments in your company, to make sure that it's not an organisation-wide issue. So now that we've looked at how you find solutions and fix problems with our 7-point plan, I want to talk about another crucial element that complements our ability to get things done, and that is confidence. Being self-assured isn't about being arrogant or thinking you're infallible. It's about trusting your skills and judgment to make decisions without constantly second-guessing yourself. If that sounds familiar, then please do watch on. When you're confident, you make decisions more quickly and more effectively. You weigh the pros and cons, make a choice, and then act on it. This decisiveness is invaluable in a fast-paced work environment where delays can be costly. Confidence also plays a significant role in problem solving. When you're confident, you're more likely to approach challenges head-on rather than avoid them. You're also more open to creative solutions and willing to take calculated risks, which is often what's needed to resolve complex issues. It's maybe not something you've thought about before, but the synergy of confidence and competence is so essential. As I said, it's essential to note that confidence and competence go hand in hand. The more skilled you are at your job, the more confident you'll feel. The more confident you are, the better you'll perform. It's a cycle that leads to better decision making and more effective problem solving. So how do you build your confidence? Confidence is often perceived as an innate trait, but in reality, it's a skill that can be cultivated and refined, like mastering a musical instrument or learning a sport. Building confidence requires dedication, practice, and time. It's essential to understand that confidence is deeply intertwined with competency. The more adept you become in your role, the more confidence will naturally flourish. If you're relatively new to the role of an assistant, navigating boardrooms or engaging with high-level executives it must seem daunting. You might occasionally encounter colleagues who fail to recognise the immense value that you bring, making it challenging to assert yourself. On the other hand, there are seasoned assistants among us who are watching today who, through years of experience and skill building, have grown confident enough to voice their ideas and stand their ground in meetings. Regardless of where you currently stand on this journey, and it is a journey, remember that confidence will follow with consistent effort, continuous learning, and accumulating experiences. It's progressive, it's a journey, and every step you take in honing your skills brings you closer to the confidence that you seek. Many people feel unsure at work, even when they're good at what they do. Studies show that many people, and especially women, so especially most of us assistants, often don't speak up for themselves early in their jobs. This can mean they might get overlooked for jobs or not get paid as much. I think we all understand that, and we've all been in that situation. Feeling unsure when you're new or in a big role is normal, but sometimes this feeling comes from what we were told when we were young, not seeing people like us in leadership, our nature, past events, or ultimately low self-worth. It's key to remember that everyone can build confidence. It starts with understanding ourselves better, thinking positively, and being true to ourselves at work and everywhere else. So I want to talk you through 2 steps that should help you build your confidence in speaking up in any scenario, but particularly when it comes to problem solving. The first step is remembering what you bring to the table, your unique self. The traits, attributes only you have that can be harnessed at work to add value within your organisation. Now, this is from an article by Anne Howe in the Harvard Business Review, and I think it's this really helpful way to look at your unique attributes. So the unique you method is designed for you to really start to think about the background, experiences, and traits that shape your unique point of view. So have a look at the table. First off, describe your background. Consider family, where you grew up, the type of neighbourhood, ethnicity, languages, heritage, education, personal identity, religion, and much more. Identify experiences that shaped you. Consider childhood events, work experience, volunteering, hobbies, victories, failures, learning opportunities, relationship moments, and more. List your notable traits. Consider personality, habits, personal style, communication tendencies, and more. I want you to take a minute to reflect on the prompts in the Discover Your Unique Self exercise. Look at your own intricate and beautiful life journey and begin to recognise the worth that you offer. Your distinctiveness gives your voice its significance. And while you have a think, I did this exercise here. So I'm going to give you a minute and I'm going to just read to you my unique self. I'm a 41-year-old business owner. I have 2 children, originally from the UK, living in Spain. I grew up in a working class family and was the first person in my family to go to university. I've travelled extensively and through my business have developed a wide international network of highly skilled individuals. I love netball, film and TV. I love exploring new technology, new ways of working and online digital marketing. I love my work and hope to help assistants move their careers forward. So I'm going to give you a minute to have a think about your unique self. And if you want to share some of your thoughts on the chat, I'd love to take a look at your unique selves.
What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Okay, so to wrap up this section, I want you to understand and embrace your unique perspectives and experiences. Recognize that your background, skills, and life journey equip you with a distinct point of view that can add value in ways others might not. Reflect on your achievements, your experiences, and your strengths. Remember situations where your input made a difference and use these as reminders of your value. Next, let's look at 4 practical steps you can take to build your confidence skills. If you struggle with your confidence, I want you to start small. In the process of boosting confidence, especially as an assistant, it's often beneficial to start with small, manageable steps. These incremental changes can gradually shift your comfort zone, allowing you to tackle bigger challenges. Love that comfort zone. But here's a deeper dive into the concept of starting small. The first step is to embrace visibility. If you're accustomed to staying in the background, say during virtual meetings, by turning off your camera, challenge yourself to be more visible. Keeping your video on not only shows engagement, but it also helps you become accustomed to being seen and acknowledged by your peers. The same can be said in meetings. If you always sit at the back, come to the front. Initiate conversations. Engaging in light, informal conversations before official meetings can be a great way to ease into group interactions. It can be as simple as asking a colleague about their weekend or sharing a recent book or film that you've seen, a book recommendation, something like that. These casual interactions can help break the ice and make you feel more integrated into the group, which can be really difficult as an assistant when everybody else is an executive. Utilise digital tools. If speaking up during meetings feels daunting, say an online meeting, start by using the chat feature to share your thoughts. This can be a less intimidating way to contribute to the overall conversation. Over time, as you get more comfortable, you can transition from typing your thoughts to voicing them out loud. Celebrate small wins. Every time you take a small step outside your comfort zone, acknowledge it. Whether it's keeping your video on for an entire meeting or initiating a conversation with a colleague that you don't know very well, these are victories in your confidence building journey. Celebrating them can motivate you to take on bigger, more difficult challenges, but make sure you celebrate them. The next point is to seek some feedback. So after making these small changes, seek some feedback from trusted colleagues. They might offer insights into how you're perceived, which can be valuable in its own right, and also help you in understanding areas of future improvement. Remember, feedback is a tool for growth, and when you're thinking about building your confidence, you are growing. Lastly, think about how these small gestures over time can significantly impact your relationships at work. As you become more visible and engaged, colleagues will likely see you as a more active and integral part of the team. And with this, trust and rapport can be the foundation upon which you confidently voice bigger ideas and solutions. If you've got a good rapport with people, it's much easier to communicate. So starting small is not about limiting yourself, but building a strong foundation. By taking incremental steps, you're setting yourself up for long-term success in building confidence and making meaningful contributions in your professional environment. For many, confidence isn't all or nothing trait. It's common, and I think it's really common, to feel self-assured in certain situations and less so in others. If you find yourself moving between these feelings, it's crucial to be intentional about practicing confidence. It's not something we often think about, practicing confidence. So I want to have a look at how you can go about doing this and where you start. So the first place is your language. The words and phrases you use can amplify or diminish your confidence. Using qualifiers can inadvertently weaken your statements, making you appear less sure of your ideas. So challenge yourself to be more assertive in your speech. So instead of hedging your bets with phrases like, I might be wrong, but, be direct and own your thoughts. So for instance, based on my observations or from my experience, two great phrases for you to introduce into your conversations when talking about problem solving. The power of body language. So non-verbal cues play a significant role in how others perceive you and how we feel about ourselves. So adopting a confident body language can not only make you appear more self-assured, but can also boost your internal feelings of confidence. So simple changes like sitting up straight during meetings, maintaining steady eye contact, and using open gestures can make a world of difference. Avoid closed off posture like crossing your arms or looking down, as they can convey uncertainty. Can you see? It's so easy just to make that quick change. So practice this in safe environments. Before implementing these changes in high stakes situations, practice them in the environments where you feel safe, where you feel confident. This can be during casual conversation with friends or family or trusted colleagues. I'm not a big fan of role playing, but here it's really helpful. It's an effective tool. So even if it's in your mind, simulate scenarios where you typically feel less confident and practice those verbal and non-verbal responses. Seek constructive feedback. So as you practice and getting feedback, it becomes more valuable when it's constructive. So look at how you can go about translating into different areas where you might need to adjust and get that constructive feedback. Choose individuals who you trust to give you honest feedback. This could be a mentor, close colleague, even a friend who you think's really good at communicating. And then lastly, I want you to think about how you reflect and adjust. So after practicing receiving feedback, take some time to reflect. What felt natural? What felt forced? Use these reflections to adjust your approach. And remember, the goal isn't about changing who you are, but to confidently present your authentic self. I said that was my last point, but this is actually my last point. Consistency is key. Building confidence is akin to building a muscle. I hate to say it, but it's true. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. So even on days when you don't feel particularly confident, push yourself forward to practice. Over time, your efforts will become second nature. Trust me, as somebody who used to be so shy and not at all confident, practice makes all the difference. In essence, being deliberate about practicing confidence is about recognizing the situations where you feel less assured and taking intentional steps to address them. With consistent effort, feedback, and reflection, you can navigate these situations with more assurance and confidence. Confidence, like many personal attributes, is cultivated over time. I hate to say it, but it's not a switch you can flip on overnight, but rather a journey that you walk. It's filled with its own set of challenges and triumphs. It takes a lot of practice and understanding on your own part. So I know this can be a frustrating process, so I wanted to share with you some tips to help you stick with it and also not to be too frustrated with yourself. So first of all, please recognize that it's a process. Confidence isn't a static trait that you either possess or you lack. It's dynamic and it evolves with each experience. It evolves with each interaction and any challenges. It's essential to understand that building confidence is a continuous process, and like any skill, it requires nurturing and development. So set realistic expectations. While it's commendable to aim high, it's equally important to set achievable milestones. And as we said earlier, celebrate the small victories along the way, whether speaking up in a meeting or handling criticism gracefully. These moments accumulate and contribute to your overall confidence. Embrace those mistakes as you're learning and see them as opportunities. Mistakes are inevitable. So instead of viewing them as a setback, see them as valuable lessons. Each error provides insights into areas of improvement and growth, and by reframing mistakes as learning opportunities, you can approach them with a constructive mindset, focusing on what can be done differently next time. And then hopefully that won't impact your confidence going forward. So flip that mindset. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Building confidence is as much about self-compassion as it is about self-improvement. Recognize that everyone, no matter how confident they appear, has moments of doubt. 100% true, trust me. What sets confident individuals apart is their ability to navigate those moments with grace and resilience. So stay committed to that growth. Confidence building is a commitment to personal growth. It's about pushing boundaries, challenging limiting beliefs, and stepping out of your comfort zone. While the journey of building confidence might be filled with ups and downs, staying committed to growth ensures continuous progress. Please celebrate that progress, not perfection. When thinking about building your confidence, it is really easy to focus on getting everything right and being perfect, rather than your progress. It is worth emphasizing that the progress made, the challenges overcome, and the lessons learned genuinely matter. Celebrate each step forward, no matter how small. Building confidence is more than just believing in yourself. It's about harnessing your skills, your experiences, and your competencies to become an indispensable asset in your role. As an assistant, you are often, in fact, you probably always are, the backbone of operations, the go-to person for solutions, and the force that keeps things running smoothly. So by continuously nurturing your confidence, you not only enhance your own capabilities, but you also elevate the entire team's performance. I know that sounds grand, but believe me, that is true. Speaking up and problem solving are not just tasks, but a testament to your value, expertise, and professionalism. Remember, whenever you voice an idea, you reinforce your position as an essential, proactive, and competent team member. So embrace your role, trust in your abilities, and let your confidence shine in all that you do. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope you found it useful.